Hey everyone, Rogue Gold here, and welcome back to another State of the Game recap. This is for State of the Game number 174 for November 11th, 2020, and today, Hamish had Trick and Johan on to showcase and discuss the new gear, weapons, and the new skill variant coming alongside Season 4, as well as the upcoming TU12 PTS. Really quickly, before we hop into it, I apologize if you hear the construction in the background. Very unideal time for them to be doing that, but that is going on, but I'm going to push through and record this regardless. Also, if you are anticipating my Series X video of me showing how the Division 2 runs on that. It was a little bit delayed, but it should be coming out tomorrow on Thursday the 12th for anyone who is wondering. So, that all being said, let's jump right into it with priority alerts. There was a maintenance yesterday, but it had no outward-facing changes for us to be aware of. The TU12 PTS is coming this Friday the 13th with a aim of testing all of the new gear, as well as trying out the new optimization station and general feedback. The patch notes for that will be coming on the same day, on Friday. The things that are not present they wanted to point out are the new Season 4 global event, alright? The waves are going to be a bit more spaced out this time than past PTS phases. So Wave 1 is this Friday, and then Wave 2 isn't until November 27th. And I think they're ending Wave 1 a week from today, so the following Wednesday, and then in that time in between they're going to work on adding changes and all that kind of stuff so that we can come back at the end of the month for a final testing phase before the update actually goes live in December. And they just noted that the character ports for that were from yesterday's maintenance, so wherever you were yesterday is where your character is going to be on the PTS when it starts on Friday. Jumping into it, and let's waste no time here, we have the developer interview where they showed all of the new gear and stuff coming for Season 4. So I will throw up pictures on screen, but I won't stick on them too long if I don't have to, so you can pause if need be so you can read over them for yourself. Starting off, they said that the design thread for Season 4 is skill focused. If you remember, Season 3 was all about close quarter combat with Hunter's Fury, with the backfire, all that kind of stuff. This time it's more skill focused, and you definitely see that when you go through these. So they wanted skill build players to be more engaged beyond just throwing out your skills and letting them do the work. They wanted you to have a bit more, activity and things to do in the middle of combat. So the first new exotic is a new type of assault rifle that's going to be a high-end. I think they called it a PDR. The exotic is called the Capacitor. It looks pretty cool. Every time you shoot an enemy, it adds a stack of 1% skill damage, and after 5 seconds, stacks decrease by 1% per second. So it's kind of like Striker, except you don't get penalized for missing, and it doesn't start ticking down right away. It's only after 5 seconds. Every skill tier that you have equipped while you're using this gun then also grants you 5% bonus weapon damage. So that's pretty cool. This one is rewarded from the summit challenges after the 5th challenge. We kind of covered that there would be an exotic there on last week's Day of the Game recap. So this is what it's going to be, the new Capacitor AR. I think this thing is really cool, and it should be really beneficial for skill builds, and it's going to be a lot of fun, especially combined with some of the stuff we're going to cover next. So the next exotic is called the Scorpio. We finally have a new shotgun. We haven't had one since launch, so it's been a very long time, but we're finally getting a new exotic shotgun. So what does it do? Shooting targets applies or refreshes a 10-second stack of venom. The first shot, so one time you shoot the shotgun and it hits a target, it's the first shot, it inflicts poison on them. That's already pretty significant. The third shot, so once you put the poison on, you shoot a second shot, nothing happens. Then the third shot you shoot on the same target applies a disorient. The 6th shot shocks them, and the 7th shot applies them with a 20% damage debuff so that they take 20% more damage from all sources. That's pretty huge. It's a one-time ramp-up per stack application, they said. So basically, once you shoot a target, you can't reapply and give them those lower bonuses again until the entire thing wears off. So basically you shoot them with poison, maybe that gets down to 5 seconds remaining on the stack. If you shoot them again and you keep ramping it up to that 7th stack of the damage debuff, it's going to be the same stack throughout, and you can't reapply that until the entire thing is gone after the 10 seconds of them having that damage debuff. So that's how it's going to work there. They said you can apply the same stacks with multiple people. So if one person shoots him once and applies the poison, 2 other people shoot at the same time, you're going to right away get 3 shots for that disorient. And so that's pretty awesome. But the other important thing they wanted to point out is that these are all different in PvP, because obviously that sounds like it would be super OP in PvP. They went through it. What did they say? I think it's disorient, bleed, and then ensnare is the final one. So should be a little more balanced in PvP. Still probably going to be pretty cheesy, just like everything else that gets added to there. But won't be as bad. And this one is rewarded from the Season 4 reward track. It'll either be probably at 55 or 90, not sure which. Moving on, the other new exotic that will be tied to the season track is a new gear item called the Waveform. It's an exotic holster, and is again skill focused. It generates a stack of 3% skill damage on one of your skills per second, up to 10 stacks. after 10 seconds of being at that maximum stack of 30% skill damage, that stack transfers to your other skill. And this repeats infinitely every, I believe, 10 seconds or 20 seconds. So that's pretty cool. Once you enter combat and you get that 30% stack, that's just going to permanently be there for one of your two skills the entire time that you're in combat. That's pretty nice. I think, it has some more limited usage compared to some other things, maybe like the BTSUs if you're using a hive, but overall it should be another very nice exotic to buff up some of your skill-focused builds. And like I mentioned, that one will be rewarded from the season reward track. They moved on to some of the named items. We have a new Scalpel marksman rifle, which has perfected Future Perfect. They acted like we don't already have guns that have this in sync, but we do. So this is another gun that's going to have perfected Future Perfect. And then the test subject is a new named PDR, which again is that new high-end assault rifle. And that is going to have perfectly in sync. So another one with that. That'll be nice. Next up, we have a new brand. It's called Empress International. And the 3 bonuses on there, the first piece is 10% skill health. Second is 10% skill damage. And the third piece is 10% skill efficiency, which again, skill efficiency was added in TU11 in Season 3, and it acts a lot like weapon handling, where it gives you 1% of all of those nice skill, related bonuses. So that is a very powerful third piece on there for sure. Then we have 2 named items that are part of this brand. One is the battery pack. It's a backpack with perfectly calculated, and the other is a chest piece that has perfectly skilled. So again, a very heavy skill focus, and those should be very helpful to add to your arsenal. And then we have the new gear set for Season 4 called Rigor. So the 2-piece is going to be 15% skill haste, the 3-piece 15% skill duration, and then the 4-piece is that every time you interact with your deployed skills, you gain 25% skill damage for 10 seconds. This cannot be refreshed. And then what an interaction constitutes as is either using it, so deploying it, retargeting it on a different enemy if you're using like a drone or a turret, or healing it up with, whether it be a healer using a heal skill on it, or like a artificer hive or anything like that would count for interacting, and that'll gain you 25% skill damage. So that's pretty nice. The backpack amplification talent is that it cancels skill cooldowns on resetting the skill. So if you have a turret active, say a mortar turret with 1 shot left and you destroy it, you instantly get it back. That's pretty huge. The chest talent is then that damage value of 25% goes up to 50%. So again, a super big and beneficial buff for skill builds that when combined with some of these new things like the capacitor AR or like these other things, it's going to be pretty darn powerful. So that's pretty awesome. They then covered the new skill variant that you get from the Season 4 Manon, and that is the Achilles Pulse. It sounds pretty awesome, honestly. This is the one that's not as much skill focused, and I appreciate that. It's a single target pulse that marks weak points. Now, I'm not clear on whether it marks existing weak points, like, what would it be? The tanks on cleaner heavies, that type of thing. I don't know if it marks those, or if it just marks like random points on the enemy's body that are highlighted in red, but it marks weak points, and when you shoot those hotspots, you deal headshot damage. So that's pretty huge. If this is something like it just puts a red mark on your chest, for example, for where a potential weak point could be, and you just shoot that and get headshot damage, that could be pretty huge in, PvE and PvP, and I'm excited to try this out. I think it should be a pretty fun skill variant to try out and use, so excited for that one for sure. And then the final thing they said is that the next state of the game will be next week, on next Wednesday the 18th, focusing on PTS feedback from Wave 1. Alright guys, and that just about does it for our recap of this week's State of the Game. Some pretty awesome news. Again, still no, news or even mention of the Codename Nightmare event that should be coming in December, or at least throughout the duration of Season 4, which is slightly disappointing, but, I can't really blame them. The focus of this week's stream was definitely on the new gear and all that kind of stuff, and it's all very cool. I don't know if it necessarily applies to my playstyle specifically, but I know a lot of people are going to be very happy about all this stuff coming, so that's really awesome. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this, and that is what matters at the end of the day. I'm definitely most excited for that pulse, I think. I think if it lives up to the hype and, does some correct marking, it could be really fun to deal some extra headshot damage to people, and that's more my speed, so hopefully that pans out like that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you can be updated every time I upload. Head down to the comments and let me know all of your thoughts on all of this new stuff, what you think about it, what your favorite thing is, what you're most excited for. I want to hear it all, so let me know down below. And just to say again, the PTS starts this Friday the 13th, so if you're on PC, jump in there and you can try out all the new stuff. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great day, and until the next one, guys, Rogue Gold out.